Hey, I'm Andy Chanley from 88.5 The SoCal Sound, and you join us for another SoCal Sound session. We're joined today by Cayucas. Welcome in.
Thanks for having us.
First time meeting you guys. So which one's Zach?
I am.
That's Zach
Yeah.
Uden. Am I saying it correctly?
Right.
And Ben.
Yeah.
Nice.
Uden.
Uden?
Yeah.
Uden.
That's how we say it.
So we'll see you more often lead vocal.
Yeah.
And you've been most often on guitar and backing vocals. And you're joined today on drums by...
our buddy Brian.
Nice. We're going to get 3 songs out of them. We're going to play us a few songs. And the new album, by the way, I want to get this out of the way up top here. Hanging on the West Side, it's available now. Get it wherever you get records. And the new single, Punch Bowl, which I don't know if you guys are going to do today, but we've been playing here on 88.5 The SoCal Sound, and it sounds amazing. And in concert with Matt Costa at the Roxy coming up on Friday, December 8th. So grab tickets to see that, and we'll talk about that in a couple of minutes as well. Can I ask you guys, this is my first time meeting you, so can I ask it, I know this is going to be a dumb question.
Get it out of the way.
Twins, right?
Yeah. Psychic
twins.
Powers.
Yeah, I want to know about the psychic powers. No, my question is this. I see pictures of you guys, and I've seen your instruments.
Uh-huh.
One of you is right-handed, and one of you is left-handed.
Right.
No one's ever asked us that, actually.
How does that even, mind blown.
Yeah.
I would just expect that you would have the same dominant hand.
Right.
Yeah. You're left-footed, right?
Yeah.
So we're both left-footed.
Footed.
I don't know. I mean, I think I could have been.
How do you find a dominant hand or something, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is it...
I probably should have been right-handed. I don't know. I think it's on my mom's side, the lefties. So
But you
random.
play guitar and write left-handed,
yeah.
and you
Right.
right-handed.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with that. I don't know where we go with that, but it just, I saw that in the pictures. I'm like, well, what's
Yeah.
going on here?
It's kind of...
But that's how you tell you apart. It's the amazing thing. I got to tell.
If you can do it on stage, like visually, his guitar goes right and mine goes left, and that's kind of unique, I guess.
Yeah, it was the Hofner. When I saw that, I'm like, that looks familiar, and that's what made me put it together. You're gonna do some songs for us. I'm gonna make you sing right off the bat for us. You're gonna start off with one called Waffles. Tell us about Waffles.
Yeah, Waffles is just kind of like classic 60s inspired bass line. That's just kind of, I don't know how to describe it, but I think the word waffles kind of stuck. I think you came up with that. Where'd that come from?
I don't know where that came from. I think
It was kind of just a word we liked, but it was basically like our favorite thing to eat in the morning was like waffles, just like Eggos.
Yeah,
And
I make a mean waffle. I'm a terrific waffle maker.
I feel like there's like a surf spot called Waffles, and then I don't know.
and then the bottom of your
the bottom
of
of
your
like a
shoes.
van, and
Right.
waffle,
Right.
the waffle.
Very.
Normally we'll have a song idea or a song title, and then it either sticks or it doesn't, and that one like never went away. So we
Nice.
just stayed with it.
I think if it was just like you eat waffles in the morning, like it's not enough to be a song title, but it needs like 2 or 3 things.
All right, let's dig into Waffles. This is Cayucas on 88.5 The SoCal Sound.
Sun comes up, roll out of bed. He said, she said in my head. Waffles in the toaster, left the beer can on the coaster. I was running out the door, feet were stomping on the floor. Put the tape in, press record. I got Beach Boy bass and piano chords. 2 pints in the summer, blow the winter white with snow. Ooh, oh, oh, the season of the summer birds, summer
Waffles from Cayucas on 88.5, the SoCal Sound. I've got Zach and Ben here with me today. I hope you don't get tired of this. I mean, it's been a conscious choice, I think, on your part. But the California beach ethos, that vibe of the music. I mean, it's the surf pop. I don't know what do you call it? It's Beach Boysy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How do you when you describe it to people? What do you say?
Sometimes, I don't know, we usually say like, just like what you did, you know, like a lot of indie, California, surf, you know, vintage, I think,
Yeah.
kind of 60s inspired, Beach Boys. Sometimes, you know,
Mid-century.
and then, you know, like you can throw in like some contemporaries, like you could say like Vampire Weekend or Beck or something.
Yeah, yeah.
It just depends how generally. Usually you have to be pretty general.
Or who
Like,
you're talking to also.
Yeah, it's usually like, oh, you guys are in a band. Like, what do you guys sound like?
Right.
And then you get-
Well, if they're 21, then, you know, like, you're like, oh, the Beach Boys. Like, okay, you know. Or it's more, yeah, you might go a little more indie.
Yeah, I'll ask my dad about that when I get home. That's the funny thing is like you know, the most recent record from Declan McKenna, Sympathy. Like this is so 1973 Holland era Beach Boys to me,
Oh, cool.
and Local Natives, their last album. There's so many harmonies that I hear in them, and they've always been big with harmonies anyway. But I hear those, and part of me feels like when I relate that on the air, when I make that comparison, I feel like I'm, you know, somebody's dad. But at the same time, it just kind of speaks to the timelessness of it, and you know, even what the Beach Boys were doing, while they reinvented the wheel to a great degree. I mean, we're talking about its origins in harmonies and, you know, in songcraft and you know, pretty basic, you know, song theory.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, it seems like it's an American you know, through line in music instead of, you know, being something that's, you know, tied to a particular era to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's that their music was, for us, is just there's so many layers to it. It's so good that it still is great, and so that's why we always go back to it, because
We liked, yeah, I think we kind of liked, for whatever, like Brian Wilson and just the way, I think originally like the 60s type sound we liked. I like reverb, like kind of vintage guitars and basses and, you know, like good spring reverbs, you know, that just kind of is like the step one.
Yeah.
And then like, yeah, I guess something about the Brian Wilson, I guess, in particular.
Well, there's something about it. There's a cleanliness to it. It's all arranged and created and produced. I mean, you know, because it was the Wrecking Crew. It was like, you know,
Yeah.
Ringer, really great, top of the top shelf musicians doing all of this stuff. But there was a place for everything in the sonic field, and it just sounds good. And that's what I get from your music, is that it's so very well, you know, arranged and orchestrated that it's so easy to enjoy. It's so accessible.
Oh, good. Thank you.
You're from the same you know, place that those guys are. Santa Monica originally?
No, originally we're from Northern California.
Originally, okay. Well, you know what? Just breaking news. Not everything you see in Wikipedia is correct. We're gonna take that out.
Well, I think when we started as a band, we were living in Santa Monica.
Oh, okay.
So we kind of just went.
we
back.
claimed it.
So both of you from Davis, from Northern California,
Yeah.
and then you come down here like when-ish to get started.
We were 19 or 20. I mean, I guess pretty young, I guess. We were
Yeah.
kind of in college, you know. and stuff.
We lived in San Luis Obispo for a little while, Santa Barbara, made our way to Los Angeles.
San Luis Obispo is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess we wanted to get to LA. I'm surprised we came that early, but we were just like, we got to go to LA and start a band, you know.
Kind of, yeah. We kind of knew.
Or
we
just
wanted-
be here. Yeah, do
Yeah.
music. we weren't sure what that looked like, you know, but
Yeah.
that was step one, like get to LA. That's where
Get to LA and like learn how to be in a band, I guess.
which we definitely, in hindsight, like we didn't need to get to LA, you know, we could have just stayed
Could do it from anywhere.
anywhere.
sure,
Yeah.
but
But at the time, that's what we.
yeah, it's worked out.
Oh yeah, I'm glad.
Let's get another song out of you. Speaking of California and Beach Boys-esque names, California Girl. Tell me about this song.
Well, this was, yeah, I think this one was, when we did this record, we kind of recorded the most of it from, basically from my apartment. And we were really into the kind of the Beach Boys kind of, you know, just Pet Sounds and Smile Sessions and making little noises and just, you know, just doing weird stuff. And this song was just like a basic bass line, like a basic 1-4-5 bass line, 60s style. And we just kind of leaned into it. It's probably our most kind of vintage sounding song.
Nice. California Girl. It's Cayucas on 88.5 SoCal Sound.
I was headed down Sunset, had the fold-up convertible down. I took a left at Patrick's Roadhouse, past the cliffs up and into town. I said I don't know where I'm going, but I'm out and I'm looking for fun. They say lightning doesn't strike in the same place twice. Well, I'm underneath the summer sun. California girl with summer in her eyes. She's from the Golden Coast. I saw her passing by. There she goes. California girl. California girl. California girl. And there she was. Whoa. She was hanging by the laundromat, the trunk of a Wagoneer. I saw a sun-bleached copy up on the road while I was counting empty bottles of beer. I said I don't know where I'm going, but I'm out and I'm looking for fun. It's the last slow song of the night, so take a chance or you'll regret it for the rest of your life. California girl with summer in her eyes. She's from the Golden Coast. I saw her passing by. There she goes. California girl. California girl. California girl. And there she was. Whoa. California girl with summer in her eye. Yeah, she was from the Golden Coast. I saw her passing by. There she goes. California girl. California girl. California girl. And there she was. California girl.
There's California Girl from Cayucas who joined us in the studio here. I got Zach and Ben with me. Okay, so brothers in a band.
Right.
You seem now to be on your best behavior. But I was just thinking, I made a list. Noel and Liam Gallagher of Oasis, Ray and Dave Davies of the Kinks, John and Tom Fogerty of CCR, Chris and Rich Robertson of the Black Crowes, Phil and Don Everly of the Everly Brothers. Famously, there are many brothers in well-known bands who get along like oil and water. Do you secretly hate each other? Is there anything you want to air now? Any grievances? Or do you just get along famously?
We get along 97% of the time. Then 3% is bad.
It's not enough, well, it's not enough of a thing. Like, I guess, like with Oasis, like, you can still go and hang out. Like, you can have a fight. It doesn't have to be.
Did those people have
they're
good relationships or bad? Did the Everly Brothers?
Those are all.
Oh, they hated each other.
With it,
With a white hot passion.
the Everly Brothers I was reading a quote actually from him where he said like they only had one argument. It just lasted 25 years.
Right.
And I was like, no, we get along fine. You know, we're like twins actually though are gonna be even closer though, and it seems.
Seem to be harder for twins. Well, maybe yes and no.
Yeah, I mean we have our little thing, but then we always like go to the show and
Right.
we don't.
Yeah.
Being differently dexterous, no one is going to be stealing the other person's instruments. That's the secret right there. You
Yeah.
can't play a left-handed and vice versa.
Right. That's true. That's a good point.
It's just a hunch. So we said the new album that's out now, Hanging on the West Side. We've been playing Punch Bowl. You just played us a couple more songs. One more to come in a minute. But you're in concert with Matt Costa at the Roxy. You're out on tour with him. You're going to be playing Friday, December 8th at the Roxy with Matt. You're out on tour with him for a number of dates.
Yeah.
He's the one you don't get along with. Is that right?
No,
He's really easy to get along
if you can't get along with him, that's your
You're the
fault.
problem.
It's you.
He's the most chill, lives out on the beach, and
Yeah.
he made us feel uptight, you know. So
Yeah.
he's great.
Nice.
He's amazing live. So
Yeah. Sounds like a pretty good bill. Pretty good double bill.
we think it's
Yeah,
a good
it's-
fit,
it's
you
a
know,
good
because
vibe.
he's a cat. People just assume we were friends, because we've been like kind of in the same vicinity for a long time, and we just never connected. And he's got that California sound and stuff. So I think it's a good bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
We did it. We've done a bunch of shows together so far. They've been fun. It's been good vibes.
Nice. I've saved my most important question for last. Your debut album is now a decade old, Bigfoot.
Yeah.
The question, the most obvious and important question is, does Bigfoot exist?
Probably not, I guess.
That was huge when I was a kid, like in like the late '70s.
Yeah.
Everything was Bigfoot. Bigfoot was on the $6 Million Man.
Wow.
It was
yeah.
the craziest, coolest thing to think about Bigfoot. Why did does it relate to the Bigfoot Lodge? Where did Bigfoot come into that?
I don't know, actually. I feel like I was writing a song like we stay at this cabin in Lake Tahoe, and I don't know. I was writing a song about that, and I think I wanted
You
to.
thought it was a Loch Ness monster.
There is like Lake Tahoe has
Lake Tahoe has a Loch Ness
has a
monster.
Loch Ness. Called,
Is that true?
Yeah, it's called Nessie or something.
Huh.
Her name's Nessie, and I think I
I've
want.
swam in that lake before.
And actually, our brother-in-law has seen like basically like a tidal wave hit the shore on a completely calm day.
Wow.
So he maybe got that in my head, but I don't know. I think I like the kind of Loch Ness monster, Bigfoot, mythical creature thing. I think Bigfoot just kind of made sense for some reason.
Nice.
But yeah,
Well, since we've opened the door, I mean,
Yeah.
are you guys are you open to ghosts and all of this? I mean, we just passed Halloween a couple weeks ago.
no, but
We've heard a few stories. The guy who produced our album, he told us this elaborate, the most stand-up normal guy gives this total like, a ghost. He was talking to a ghost.
Yeah.
Nice guy. In my mind, they're like friendly. friendly.
Somebody told us, like, are you, like, if you're superstitious, are you superstitious at all?
Somewhat, yeah.
That means you kind of believe in this otherworldly kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like, oh, okay, well, there's something to that.
Have you?
maybe.
Yeah. Oh, I have. I have.
Because I have a lot of superstitions that really don't make a lot of sense. So there is some sort of power
Yeah.
beyond our understanding, or at least for in my mind. I've also seen if you're superstitious, it's just anxiety.
It could be. I do have a ghost story or two. I'll tell you offline. Real times when I was sure that there was something up that
Yeah.
didn't make any sense. But the like don't walk under a ladder. That's bad luck. I think you're walking down the sidewalk and there's a bricklayer up there. There's a good reason it's bad luck. You're much more likely to get your head stoved in with a
Yeah.
brick if you walk under that.
Well, I definitely I wouldn't if somebody says don't look in a broken mirror. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to risk it.
Or say a prayer backwards through a candle. Kids, don't try this at home. All right, bringing it back to to the tangible, the new album, Hanging on the West Side. Go get it and go see them in concert with Matt Costa. The show coming up on the 8th here at the Roxy, and 88.5 SoCal Sound presenting that show. And proud to do it. Cayucas, thanks for coming in. This is good to get to know you guys a little bit.
Yeah.
Dude, thanks for having us.
Well, you're going to play us out. Tell me quickly about Lonely Without You, the last song we're going to hear.
Yeah, we just this is just kind of a song we wrote together on an acoustic guitar, and we just wrote a nice little 2-piece harmony, and it's chill.
Nice. All right, going to let them have the last word. I'm Andy. This is Cayucas on 88.5, the SoCal Sound.
See the lizard and the firefly, and the smoke blow through the trees. On a warm cicada night, the sea was empty, bottle green, and you were staring at the fire as it smoldered to ash. Had a vision of a love flashing from the past. We were together, I said we could be forever. As the days go by, I'm getting older. See the albatross over your shoulder, and I'm wiser than I was. But the nights are just a little bit colder, just a little bit colder, as I long for yesterday. The feelings wash away. Heading north up to Summerland, flying down Jalama till our wheels hit the sand. And we're together, I said we could be forever. As the days go by, I'm getting older. See the albatross over your shoulder, and I'm wiser than I was. But the nights are just a little bit